Miss, any help is welcome, the beggar said softly, his voice shaking in the cold evening air. People kept walking past him, pretending not to see, pretending they were too busy to care. But she stopped. She didn't know who he really was. She didn't know he was a millionaire, hidden under layers of dirt and worn-out clothes, testing the world to see if kindness still existed. And in that moment, her small decision would change both of their lives forever. It was supposed to be a regular Wednesday. She had groceries in her hand, a tired look on her face, and a mind full of worries she didn't say out loud. But when she saw him, shivering, alone, and staring at the ground, something inside her pulled her forward. She didn't know why. She just knew she had to help. She had no idea someone was watching her heart more closely than she could ever imagine. Before we dive deeper into this emotional story, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment to join our family here on Kindness World. Your support helps us continue sharing meaningful stories that touch hearts and inspire change. The street was unusually quiet as she approached him. The wind made the thin blanket on his shoulders fly up, revealing just how cold he really was. She hesitated at first. She wasn't rich. She wasn't someone who had everything figured out. She was just a young woman trying her best to survive her own challenges. Yet something about him felt familiar, like looking at someone who had lost their hope but still held on to a tiny flicker of light. "Sir, are you all right?" she asked softly. He looked up, surprised someone had spoken to him. His eyes were watery, tired, but strangely aware, as if he was studying her reaction before even answering. "I'll be okay," he said. "Miss, any help is welcome." She placed her grocery bags on the sidewalk and pulled out a sandwich she had bought for herself. It wasn't fancy. It wasn't much. But it was all she had to offer. "You need this more than I do," she said, placing the sandwich gently in his hands. He stared at it for a long moment. Not at the food, but at her. Most people threw money at him to avoid guilt or walked past pretending he wasn't real. But she gave him something she needed herself. Something meant for her dinner. "What's your name?" he asked quietly. "Emily," she replied. "That's a beautiful name," he said, his voice cracking as if the words carried more weight than she realized. Emily sat beside him on the cold concrete. Not many people would do that. She didn't care if others stared. She didn't care if she looked strange. She just wanted him to feel like a human being again. "You don't have to be alone," she said. "There's a shelter 3 blocks from here. I can walk with you if you want." He lowered his head. "I'm not allowed there anymore," he whispered. She felt her chest tighten. "Why not?" "Because, they think I lie." "Do you?" He shook his head slowly. "Not about needing help." The honesty in his voice made her eyes sting. She wondered how many people judged him without hearing him speak. How many people thought his life story was made up. How many people forgot that his pain was real. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She ignored it. Whoever it was could wait. Right now, someone needed her, and she wasn't going to walk away. "Okay then," she said with a determined smile. "How about a warm coffee?" "My treat." His eyes widened, just a little. "You don't have to do that." "I know," she replied. "But I want to." They walked together to a small coffee shop around the corner. People stared, whispering quietly as they entered. Emily didn't care. She ordered him a large hot chocolate and a muffin. When she handed it to him, he cupped the warm drink with both hands like he was holding the world's greatest treasure. "You're very kind," he said. She shrugged. "Everyone deserves kindness." For the first time, he smiled. It wasn't big or bright. It was small and fragile, like someone who forgot how to smile but was trying again. He took a deep breath. "Emily, can I tell you something?" "Of course." I'm not who you think I am. She tilted her head. What do you mean? He reached into the inside pocket of his ragged coat and pulled out a clean, perfectly folded business card. Emily blinked in confusion. You're a CEO? She whispered, reading the name printed in gold letters. Owner, he corrected gently. Her eyes widened. But, why are you dressed like this? His voice dropped. I needed to know if good people still exist. I needed to see if someone would help a stranger without expecting anything. I've been doing this for weeks, but no one stopped. Not one person. Until you. Emily's heart pounded in her chest. Her brain struggled to make sense of the moment. She looked around as if the world had shifted under her feet. I don't understand, she said. You don't have to, he replied softly. Just know that you reminded me something important today, that kindness is still alive. Emily felt her face warm. I didn't do anything special. Yes, he said firmly. You did. He reached into his coat again and pulled out a white envelope. He placed it in front of her, sliding it across the table. What is this? She asked. Something I want you to have, he said. Open it. Her hands trembled as she tore the envelope open. Inside was a check, written in her name, for an amount that made her breath freeze in her chest. Sir. I can't take this, she whispered, eyes filling with tears. You can, he said. And you will. This isn't charity. It's gratitude. You helped me tonight more than you know. I want to help you too. Emily shook her head. But. I don't deserve this. He leaned forward. Kind people always say that. But Emily, you deserve the world. You just forget to ask for it. A tear rolled down her cheek. Then another. He handed her a napkin, smiling gently. Will you at least let me give you a ride home? He asked. She nodded silently. They walked out together, side by side, into the cool night air. The car he led her to was sleek, shiny, and obviously expensive. He opened the door for her like a gentleman from another era. As they drove, Emily stared out the window, her mind spinning. She had helped a stranger because her heart told her to. She didn't expect anything. She didn't want anything. But somehow, that simple act of kindness had brought her face to face with a miracle she never saw coming. When he dropped her off, he looked at her with quiet gratitude. Thank you, Emily, he said. For seeing me when no one else did. She smiled softly. Thank you, for reminding me that kindness still matters. Their paths parted that night, but the impact stayed with both of them. Emily used the gift to rebuild her life, support her family, and continue helping others wherever she could. And he, rich in money but once poor in hope, found faith again in humanity. Sometimes, the smallest act of kindness can open doors we never knew existed. Sometimes, helping a stranger leads to blessings far beyond our imagination. And sometimes, the world changes, not with grand gestures, but with one person choosing to care. So as you go forward today, choose kindness. You never know whose life you might touch, or how deeply your own life might be changed in return.